So as some of you know, I like Transformers Prime, and when I saw that Knockout was coming, I was more than a little excited. So I'm going to open this up and kind of show you what comes in it, and then I'll actually come back much later, although it won't seem much later for you guys, with my actual thoughts on the figure. So let's grab a sharp edge. There's probably a much easier way to do this. I'm destroying the packaging in the process of doing it. The answer is probably. Oh, okay, let's just do the bottom one. Now, if you hear drumming in the background of the video, it's not me, it's my neighbour who plays without regard for anything going on around them. So, to say, I'm not a fan of the open packaging. I already found several of the same Stunticon utterly destroyed. Oh, so they put that in cardboard. I say utterly destroyed. The entire front chest plate of the yellow Stunticon was ripped off, which made things look a mess. Mind you, what I suspect happened was it was just some kid just being destructive for the sake of being destructive, because kids will do that. Now, I could use something a little less aggressive for removing that. Okay. Oh, good, it just kind of folds out. Now, we have one smashing fallow. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the design, or how much I paid for it. I'm not sure if the JB Hi-Fi price tag is actually on the box. No, it isn't. Okay, so, now that he's out of the box, we see his character art, his back of box art, apparently 18 steps. We have the Decepticons from Legacy with G1 Megatron standing in the background looking over his shoulder menacingly. Words and things. Plain background with accessories taped in there so they don't fly out of the packaging. Now, I do like the fact that for the higher priced, well, I say higher priced, leader class I think it is, and bigger versions of Legacy, they straight up don't have an open box. Now here we have his accessories, which, if I'm not mistaken, just this attached like that. Oh, we have pointy blade part that isn't designed to fit in over his hand, but can fit on his arm, for reasons. Spiky. And we have long barrel gun thing, because pew pew. I mean, or he could wield it like a Tongfa. You could have him wield it like a Tongfa. Now his hand apparently doesn't pivot because it folds like that, so it doesn't have the kind of axis like that. Could have done a better job of his face sculpt. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's not primey enough. But then I would very much like for Knockout to actually look like Prime Knockout. Far more than it does. It is still nice that Prime got some love. And here we have him with his immobilizer, or whatever it's actually called. Pointy staff of stabbiness / pokiness. That apparently can weapon store on his back in robot mode. Which is a thing, I guess. He very much has that kind of Carformer squished thing going on with him. Yeah, let's see. Have I got anything else about how he operates the weapon? I'm surprised that actually the weapon in... Like, yeah, see how that doesn't fit? That feels like kind of a lost opportunity. Let's just see if I can... Nope, that one doesn't fit down there either. Now... Yeah, of course. Of course. Gotta say, this weapon is frustrating, both because it isn't designed to allow him to clip it in, at least you can have him wield it kind of as a pointy staff, but the lack of pivot... No, he has pivoting. Okay, so it's got a butterfly joint there and then a hinge, and the friction joint isn't actually failing, which is... the friction joint's actually tight enough, which is a good thing. So, arm movements, leg pivoting... Actually, that's not pivoting right. Much like with RC, the knee hardly tabs in, so he kind of separates below the knee. Why do I feel like this mould's going to get retooled into at least a few G1 Autobots? Or maybe it was retooled from a few G1 Autobots. So at least that gives kind of decent looking pose. So I'll be back once I've messed around with this thing a whole lot and share my thoughts on it. Okay, and so I got him into vehicle mode. Funny enough, without referencing the instructions the first few times. I eventually went back and checked it against the instructions, and I think I've got everything about right. But yeah, we have him in his nice vehicle mode, and it is nice. This kind of vehicle mode, it is very much inspired by his Prime vehicle mode. But it feels kind of like it has the same kind of sports car vibes to it that Energon Hotshot had, which, given I like Energon Hotshot, isn't a bad thing. And at the same time, he is very much a street racer in vehicle mode. And, pardon the cronkiness, now you can see part of his robot mode through his windows, if you get the window on the right angle, because the transparent plastic can show it off. And I'm not too bothered by that. I know that some people will be. But yeah, this figure was pretty straightforward. Now, I will be back... Oh wait, no, I don't even need to be back. I have. In terms of comparison, so here is him next to Bulkhead. And here's how he compares with Deluxe Class RC. Now, I still feel like RC really should be a smaller Scout class. In similar kind of vein to how she was in TF Energon. Honestly, that RC is my favourite version. Don't get me wrong, character-wise, this one is better. Alt mode-wise, that one is better. And here, since I don't have any Decepticons from this line, is how he compares to incomplete Whack Megatron. Now I've got something wrong on this vehicle mode's transformation. I think. Maybe. Just the way it was sitting did not look even. But yeah, this kind of... It's meant to be we see it behave like a treaded vehicle in thing, but just the way it sits, it is very much a hover tank. Just Now, I have misplaced his blade gun thing. I don't really care for it that much, so yeah, it's not like Energon Megatron's tank sword thing. You can at least do him without needing that. So let's get away, get the others out of the way, and let's transform him. And I can't remember the rest of the Prime theme. And I don't think I need to butcher any more of it. Just going to do a bad cover. Not that I'm making any money off this video. I have no intention of monetizing my content. We have him kind of looking like he's in G1 robot mode, with the doors out and everything. But I missed a spot and did something wrong here, which you'll see me adjust. Or not. Come on. Pulled the door off by accident because it folds. He'd be very irate about his paint job. Did I fix that? There's a piece that locks in under his bonnet, under his chest piece that I'm not sure if in this I actually fit. And so, here's how Knockout compares to RC. Here's how he compares to Bulkhead. Now, I haven't got Bulkhead's gun thing on him because that gun feels more breakdown than Bulkhead. Here he is now with Voyager Megatron, class Megatron. And here we have an action scene with all of them, so with all of this year's acquisitions so far. So yeah, pardon me, with Knockout I got a little bit wrong. The piece that you fold down on here, that I'd had sitting like this, probably to some people's ire, folds back a bit and actually plugs into his torso. Now, I'll get rid of them and talk about this smashing lad, shall we? Or maybe I should say aggressively gay-coded character. I don't actually have a problem with that, but yeah. So, Knockout himself does technically have three modes. We have his robot mode, his car mode, and his Mother, I crave waffles mode. Or, well, this isn't a poomph mode, because he's there, but yeah, he has his aggressively short mode, which in theory RC could do, but RC doesn't really fold that way. Just with the way the legs are designed on Knockout, with the fact that they just straight up fold back, you can do silly things. But yeah, so the accessories for me are a miss. Like, the tasery blade thing probably combines into a weapon with someone else. The speary thing doesn't fit into the hand in ways that would be useful, and it sort of works as a long blaster, which, yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of sad that we don't have a Prime breakdown in this line, or the next, and it might be a while before I cover more Legacy stuff, because getting hold of it is not easy. I say this because any kind of interesting character for Legacy seems to have gone from stores before it even was properly out. Like, Override I can't seem to find in any stores. near me, and Scourge, who I was very excited to get hold of. I knew as soon as Laser Prime was announced that they were going to do Scourge, or at the very least that someone would repaint it as Scourge and potentially do that as a commissiony thing. But yeah, it's sold out at all of the web stores, all of the stores for the various Kmarts near me, and everywhere else that has it, that has got stock for it, doesn't have stock left. Now, in terms of other scale comparisons, I can have him fighting a battle sister, who is also red. Now let's just take the blaster off. Yes, I have a McFarlane's Toy Sister of Battle. I actually have two, but these are intended for a terrain project, and, well, this one and the one that I have that is in storage, that is unpainted, is intended for a terrain project. Now, for Warhammer fans who are wondering the height of this model, that is a Sister of Battle. Yeah, this thing comes fully built, and fully posable and pretty posable. For anywhere ranging from $29 to $40 Australian. GW's kits don't. You have to build them yourself, and most of the time they can't even be reposed without extreme effort and lots of gluing. Seriously feel like GW's kits should be a lot more multi-posable, and it shouldn't be a slog to swap out weapons. It should just be something really easy. But yeah, this has been a look at Knockout. I'm not exactly sure how I would review Knockout. I don't really have any good ideas of poses for him. I've watched plenty of Transformers Prime. I do enjoy it quite a lot, but I don't really have posing ideas. But yes, despite how much Transformers Prime I've actually watched, I don't actually have any good ideas for how to pose him. His body gets in the way of his arms, which kind of makes things problematic for posing and angling and so on. But yeah, it's a neat figure. Would I suggest do I intend to get the Combaticon, the rest of the Stunticons? No, because I can't afford them, and you're not at the pricing that they've got. Motormaster and Motormaster at for in the few places you can find him. If I could get Motormaster for 50 Australian, I'd probably do it. But I'm not paying 150 or whatever the ridiculous amount is that a lot of stores want to charge for it, and yeah. Anyway, this has been my look at Knockout. I would give... how would I summarise Knockout in terms of a score? I give him a I'm just that good out of 10.